Hey, welcome to Movie Versus. I'm Dakota. I'm going to be hosting alone this week because Emily's feeling a bit under the weather, and I'm kind of feeling a bit under the weather too, but I guess we'll just do this anyway. So.
Welcome back to Movie Versus. I'm Emily. And today we'll be reviewing Anna and the Apocalypse and comparing it to Shaun of the Dead.
Anna and the Apocalypse is a zombie Christmas high school musical coming-of-age film. And if that sounds like too many things, you'd be right. It's essentially a movie about Anna and her friends from high school trying to survive a zombie apocalypse and save their loved ones before it's too late.
Well, Brainless, what were your first thoughts?
I enjoyed the movie. I had fun watching it, but it was only at specific parts. The movie seemed to have a bit of an identity crisis where it couldn't decide whether or not it wanted to be a parody of a zombie movie or if it wanted to take itself seriously, and that really dragged the whole thing down. But I still came out of it with a little bit of a smile on my face.
A wee smile.
A wee smile.
As they say in Scotland. So I had really high hopes for this movie because if a zombie musical is going to get greenlit, it better subvert both genres and be a fantastic film. But instead, we ended up with a bad musical and a bad zombie movie.
All right then. Before we tear it to shreds like a zombie would,
Rum, rum, rum.
let's start with what we liked.
I mean, I do agree with you, Dakota. There were some honest-to-God, truly hysterical moments. The burning tire rolling across the screen, being bullied with a marker drawn on your face, and the name of the bowling alley, to name a few.
Those are the moments throughout the movie that kind of gave me hope. Like every time one would happen, I'd be like, yay, they figured it out. This movie's gonna be good from now on. And then they would just go back to what they were doing and it never really fixed itself.
I think we both agree that the casting was great and the performances were really strong too, singing and acting.
In the Q&A we saw, Ella Hunt said that they did a lot of chemistry tests in order to get the cast to feel right, and I think that really shows. Probably the best song in the movie was Turning My Life Around. It's the first song that Anna sings while the zombie apocalypse has started, and she's totally oblivious to the zombies around her. It felt like what I was expecting and wanted that movie to feel like. Kind of dumb, funny, and just ridiculous. Also, the song Soldier at War has been stuck in my head for like the last week, and I just can't get it out of my head.
When it comes to killing zombies, I'm the top of my class. Where you been hiding? I've been kicking some ass.
I think my favorite song was It's That Time of Year. It's the Slutty Santa song. If you got rid of it, it doesn't take away from the story. I wish the rest of the movie was more like that song. Just completely ridiculous. The fish wrap song that also takes place during the talent show.
It's 40 seconds long.
A+ songwriting.
My favorite dish is fish, mother flipper, and I eat it for the hell of it.
Other music in the film just kind of serves to tell us about the characters and explain to us their feelings in very explicit ways, which the movie also does in dialogue.
The song's Human Voice and Hollywood Ending just made no sense in the context of the movie. Human Voice is a song about disconnecting from technology, and Hollywood Ending is just a song that clearly someone wrote and wanted to put in a musical, and they just put it in this, because why not? When Hollywood Ending was playing in the movie, it just felt like this was a Disney Channel original.
What was I thinking? This isn't Disney.
But Disney already has its own version of that, which you should check out.
I'm a zombie. Zombies.
I do wonder if Disney stole that idea from this.
Coincidence? I think not.
I think where the movie really fell flat was in the writing. The original script was written by Ryan McHenry, who is famous for his Ryan Gosling won't eat his cereal vines. It's based on a short film he made in 2011 called Zombie Musical. But unfortunately, Ryan passed away from cancer midway through the screenwriting process, and subsequently the script took a much darker turn. Then they tried to bring a little bit of the heart back, but there's clearly a battle between the serious and somber version of the script and the silly and wholesome version of the script that was never really resolved and makes the movie just kind of feel disjointed, and it kind of just felt unpolished because of that.
Compare that to Shaun of the Dead, whose story is so thoughtful and refined. Every plot point, line of dialogue, and character decision feels super motivated. I think this is because the movie begins with Shaun and his shortcomings and his tense relationship with others, and the zombie apocalypse works to exacerbate the tension between these characters.
What do you mean?
Like the zombie conflict really makes the character development shine.
No, I don't know what exacerbate means.
It means, to make things worse.
Right.
I think in Shaun of the Dead, because the characters are so realistic and almost unlikable at times, we can really feel for them and we really care when they die.
For example, Shaun's stepfather, played by Bill Nighy, is only in the movie for a few minutes, but the development of their relationship in that few minutes is so strong that it makes his death much more poignant than Anna's father's death, for example, or any death in Anna and the Apocalypse, really.
You just need motivation, somebody to look up to. And I thought it could be me.
Also, in Shaun of the Dead, all of the conflicts between characters are resolved properly in both good and bad ways, but they're resolved. Whereas in Anna and the Apocalypse, the filmmakers use killing off characters as a solution to their problems. Like, to solve the issue of the unrequited love between John and Anna, they just kill John to subvert the friend zone expectation. It just seems lazy.
The characters in Shaun of the Dead, as ridiculous as they are, take their situation very seriously, and it's the filmmaker's job to make the scenarios funny. In Anna and the Apocalypse, it seems like the filmmakers are using the characters' actions as the humor, which results in very ridiculous and illogical decision-making.
Like, they put a pool over their heads to hide themselves from the zombies and then walk with that.
This is the stupidest idea ever.
That just made no sense, and it wasn't even funny.
It was just so unsatisfying to see that there were no rules in this universe.
And even when they found an exploit to beat the zombies, it's just used for the sake of a gag.
It's so aggravating.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that zombie worlds have the best rules. Just try to make sense. And there's that headmaster who was crazy for no reason. I think if Anna and the Apocalypse just embraced its ridiculousness and parodied the genre, then it could have been a way more successful film.
The only part of Shaun of the Dead that didn't entirely make sense to me is when Shaun is standing on the dumpster and somehow jumps and runs through the crowd of zombies. But he pays for that because the zombies follow him and he loses pretty much everyone he loves except for Liz.
I'm sorry, Mom.
So I forgive that.
In that last scene where they're all trapped in the bar and everyone dies, everything is resolved in really meaningful ways. You feel so much in the last act of this film. Ed has been a huge drag the entire time.
But he sort of redeems himself.
Yeah, he lets himself die so that...
Shaun and Liz can live.
And the only time that happens in Anna is when John dies and gives himself up. But they shouldn't have gone through that dumb tree lodge in the first place.
Yeah, why, if you're in a life or death situation, would you try to do something fun just for the sake of a story? That's why. At least Shaun's dumb decisions are based in thought. His plan to go to the Winchester to survive was flawed to begin with, but he has reasons. It's not just 'cause it'll be fun.
We need to be somewhere more secure, somewhere on the ground, somewhere we can stay alive.
And they can drink. What more do you want?
And like a lot of the things in the bar end up helping them in the end.
There's a gun in the bar. Why didn't they take any of the soldiers' guns? A soldier at war. Half of those people they were running over were soldiers.
Dude, I don't know. The movie doesn't make any sense. I promise you, I really wanted to like this film, but every plot point was super aggravating. I didn't care about the characters, and everything was just drowning in this layer of cheesiness. I know we've been really hard on Anna, but we really want to praise the technical aspects of the film, considering it's so low budget.
Yeah, it was clear that they had very little money to work with, and they managed to make something that does stand up to a lot of studio-produced movies.
The cinematography was strong. The choreography was pretty good.
All the songs sounded very professionally recorded. All of the effects, while corny, looked right.
Yeah, I really liked how all the zombies looked, actually.
Yeah, me too. They were good zombies.
But you know what doesn't cost you any money? Writing.
I thought you were just quizzing me.
You know what doesn't cost any money? Mud. Air.
Trees.
Conceiving a child.
It's gonna cost you a lot to own it, though.
Yeah, but not the conception part.
Shaun of the Dead's pretty good technically, too.
It's a master of visual comedy. No one does visual comedy like Edgar Wright. Tony is right.
Rip Tony's channel. Shaun of the Dead has some really great visual humor, some awesome sound design, and like great callbacks throughout the movie that make it funny. And clearly Anna and the Apocalypse tried to emulate a lot of those, but it didn't do it enough. Anna and the Apocalypse had a few good scenes like this. I liked the one where Anna is oblivious to the zombies around her, and the one where she's kind of trying to figure out whether or not it's a zombie.
Can you hear me? I'm a first aider.
But Shaun of the Dead did both of those scenes and did them better.
Oh my god. She's so drunk.
Shaun has a reason for being oblivious rather than just singing. He's hungover and does the same thing he does every day.
Overall, Anna and the Apocalypse couldn't decide what it wanted to be, so it tried to be everything, and it just kind of failed.
How many records would you throw at it?
4.5.
I'd throw 6 at it. Maybe 6.5. Because the half one has a sharp edge, so it'd be way easier to kill a zombie with it. I actually throw 13 half records at it.
Sure.
It's clear that Ryan's death threw a big wrench in the production of this movie, but they didn't really recover from that very well.
You know who did recover, though? Shaun.
We can't keep praising Shaun of the Dead, but it's so fun to see the aftermath of the zombie apocalypse.
After watching Shaun of the Dead, I really realized that it is the true blueprint for a zombie comedy.
I'm sure there are things Shaun of the Dead could have done better, but no movie has done them better than Shaun of the Dead. You know, Shaun of the Dead had some pretty good dance numbers too.
Okay, John, it's time at the bar.
We just want to let you know that we're coming out with some great content.
Great content.
Please stick around.
Stick around. Thank you for watching this episode of Movie Versus. We'll be back next week with another movie review. Don't know what it's gonna be yet. Stay tuned.
Stay alive.